Hello, everyone. My name is Carrie, and welcome to another class. I am the director of Silent Rhythms, and I am happy to welcome my friend, Anara. This is her sign name. She will be teaching Cuban Salsa, FreeStyle. On to you, Anara.
Hello, my name is Anara, and I'm excited to be back with Silent Rhythms to work with Carrie and Rachel once again. This week, we're going to be building a little bit on what we worked on last week. So last week, we went over the basic steps for Cuban style salsa that we can use dancing alone, in partners, or in the famous rueda or wheel of salsa, where all the partners in a circle dance together and partners are passed around so that the whole dance works for the group all at once. It's actually the way that Carrie and I met. I was teaching a Rueda class and I used hand signals in my Rueda class and Carrie came and took the class. And so that was many years ago and we've done so many Ruedas together ever since. So that's why I'm excited to be here working with her to teach Cuban salsa. Now, the basics that we did last week, like I said, are the base for partnering, individual dancing, and group dancing. Today, we're going to review those basics, and then we're going to look at what we can do as individuals by borrowing some solo steps from popular dances of the past that we mix in with Cuban salsa today. So that when you're dancing, many times you dance freestyle, just you, or a whole group of people doing freestyle together, which I know Carrie said was one of her favorite things from Salsa in the Park, the Timba line where everyone follows along and dances together. Well, these moves are specially for Timba lines, so you guys today can learn the names, the history of the move, and how it's done, so that you'll be ready when we get together and we do Timba lines together in the future. So our first thing will be to review the basics from last week. Make sure that we have all those steps down. If you need a little extra review later, you can go back and take last week's class again just to perfect those basics. And then we're going to dive in and learn a whole bunch of new steps together. All right, let's dance. Go. All right, so we're going to get started with our front step. Our front step, one foot goes in front of the body and then comes back in together. So I'm going to step forward, the other foot steps in place, and they come back together. Let's try that again. Forward, in place, together. A little faster, front, in place, together, switch. Front, in place, together, switch. Front, in place, together, switch. And front, in place, together. So I have my front step that we worked on last week, stepping forward in front of my body. Now we also have from last week the side step. Same step, same rhythm, but stepping sideways from my body. So I'm going to open side and together, and side in place together, and side in place together, and side in place together. So we have our front step, and we have our side step. We also last week did our back step. Same idea, just stepping to the back. So we're going to go back in place together, and back in place together, and back and together, and back and together. All right, now with all of these steps, I want you to notice that we have a pause when our feet come together. So we're going to go fast, fast, pause, and fast, fast, pause, and fast, fast, pause, and fast, fast, pause, and fast, fast, pause. Last week, when we practiced feeling that as if it was a 1, 2, 3. That works too. We just have to remember that after the 3, there's a little pause before we start the next one again. So let's try that again, thinking about that the pause happens when our feet come together. I'm going to turn around so that we can do it all together facing in the same direction. So we're going to start with our front step going forward. Here we go. Front and together. Pause. Front and together. And front and together. And front and together. And front and front and front and front. To the side and together. And side and together. And side and together. And side and together. And side and together. Side and together. And side. And back, here we go. And back and together. And back and together. And back and back. And back and together. And back and together. And back and back. Okay, so we've gone over our front step, our side step, and our back step. And I want to go over one more step before we talk about the new things for today. The step I'd like to review, we call our basic step. And basically, it's a front step and a back step put together. So, looking at it from this direction, what we're going to do is we're just going to step forward and together, our front step, and step backward and together, our back step. Because all we're doing is putting the two together. Now, both sides work, but for today, our left is always going to be forward and our right is always going to be backwards. All right, let's give it a try. Left foot first, going forwards. Left foot, front and together. Right foot, back and together. Left foot, front and together. Right foot, back and together. Left, front and together. Right, back and together. Left, front, right, back. Again. Left, front, right, back. Left, front, right, back. Okay, so we have looked at those same basic steps that we used last week, and we've made sure that we're ready to try them as our default, meaning that when we use a step, we're going to keep that same rhythm, and when we finish a step, we're going to go back to one of those basics that we have. Our main basic step today is going to be the one that's called the basic, because that's going to be the step that you're always going to come back to in a Timba line, front on the left, back on the right, so that the whole group can do it together. It's like we have that little rule. Now, there are Timba lines on the opposite leg with the right front, but in Boston, where most of you guys are based, we always use the left leg forward, so that's the one that we're going to practice today. So anytime we finish a move, we'll go back to that. Now, those other steps we reviewed, those are going to turn into new moves, fancier moves, and many of them with an interesting history borrowed from the past. So we're going to take 1 second just to talk about the first 3 moves that we're going to look at today. These 3 moves have something in common. All 3 of those moves are Cuban dances from the past that were very popular that now we borrow and put into salsa. So the first one is called rumba. Rumba is actually a dance that was invented in the late 1800s. And as it came to life, the word rumba referred to the dance, the music, and the party that they were done at. So you can say rumba for all 3 of those. It's a beautiful dance form, and today we're just going to be borrowing their basic step, and we'll call it rumba. So when we say rumba, we'll do a rumba step. The next dance form we're going to talk about is mambo, another popular dance form from Cuba. Mambo also refers to music and dance of the same name, and they were popularized on Cuban television and eventually Mexican and international television by a man named Perez Prado. This mambo craze, again, has a basic step. So that step, we're gonna borrow from mambo and we're gonna do it today in our song. Both rumba and mambo are words of African origin that are used in the Cuban language to express the dance, the music, or the party that they're from. The next word or dance form is actually the name of an African country. It's Mozambique, or in English, we would say Mozambique. And this is another popular dance that was popularized by the television in the 1950s. Like many of our dances, we have that were for one single song. We have, for example, the mashed potato, the twist, things like that became popular here. Well, Mozambique and mambo became popular there. So rumba is more of a traditional dance, a folkloric dance from longer ago, still popular today. And mambo and Mozambique were popular fad dances, if you will, from the 1950s. All three of them are based on the basic steps we've already done. So let's give them a try. And if you get those, we'll keep moving and learn a few more. Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about the first step we're gonna do, that is rumba. It comes as a base out of the side step. So remember first our side step. We step out to the side and together, and we step side and together. This is the step that we're gonna use for rumba, but we're gonna add a few things. The first thing that we're going to add is we're going to add the feeling of a bounce. We're going to also add a different posture. So in salsa, we often dance here. In rumba, we're going to dance here. Chest, casting a shadow over my knees and feet, and as if I'm sitting on a chair. So when I'm here in rumba position, I'm going to be slightly bent over, like I'm in a chair, casting a shadow down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bounce, 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 bounce. Now when I do the side step, I'm going to keep that bounce in there. So what we're going to try is we're going to open and we're going to bounce 4 times. Bounce, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to close. 2, 3, 4, and bounce. 2, 3, 4, and close. 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do it in 2. In 2. There we go. And we're going to go 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now we're going to do it in 1. Here we go. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We see it's very much like side step, but the posture is different, the bounce is different, and now we're going to add the arms that are going to be different too. So in salsa, remember our arms were a little bit like slow motion running. In rumba, what we're going to do with our arms is we're going to let them come out from our body as a reflection of the bounce. So the bounce happens and the arms come out. Come back to the center. Arms out and back to the center. Arms out and back to the center. Arms out and back to the center. If you are imagining that you're wearing like a skirt, we pick up the skirt and we move the skirt out and center and out and center and out and center and out and center. And what we say to the men is that you are taking one hand to pull up your pants to show your shoes, your fancy footwear, and the other hand like you're looking at your watch. Okay, so we're gonna go out and out and there's my watch. There's my watch. 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 Good. Now pretend we're picking something up. It could be a skirt, a scarf, a piece of cloth, and throw it out and in, and out and in, and out and in, and out and in. Yeah? Now, today, both men and women use both of those arm positions and many more when they're dancing rumba. But those two arm positions, even though one is representing the movement of a skirt and one is showing your, pulling up your pant leg a little and looking at your watch, really we can all do both. So I'm gonna turn around, we're gonna do it together, working on trying both of the arms by keeping the Roomba balance the whole time. Here we go. So we're gonna start going out to the side. We're going to pick up our skirt or heavy cloth, and we're going to go out, together, out, together, out, together, out, together, out, 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 out. Now we're gonna try the second hand with one arm is in and one arm is down, okay? So we're stepping out to the side again, and when we're stepping to the side, that's the hand that's down. So we go out, together, out, together, out, together, out, together. All right, so we have our Roomba step. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at where we will put that in with salsa. We're gonna put it in our basic step. And what we'll do is every time that we're going to do it, we will decide how many to do and then when to go back to basic. But it's like we return to the basic every time. So I'm gonna do it like a little demonstration now, and then we're gonna try it together. So I'm in my basic step. I go front and I go back. Dancing front, dancing back. Now the way we think about it, that front step is the start. So we're gonna call that our 1, 2, 3, and our 5, 6, 7, and our 1, and our 5. So what we're gonna do is we're always gonna start Roomba when we come ready for the front step. So if I stepped forward and backward, now my left foot's ready to go forward, but instead of going forward, I go out into Roomba. 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 Now basic, and I go back to the front again and to the back again. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're going to try 4 basic steps, and then we're gonna try 4 Roomba steps. 4 basic and 4 Roomba. All right? Let's try it together. Starting with the left foot, going forward. Basic and back. Number 2, basic and back. Number 3, and basic and back. Number 4, and basic and Roomba. Here we go. And 1, over. And 2, over. And 3, over. And 4, over. Basic step, 1, 2, 3, 4. Roomba. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, let's do the same exact thing, but let's do it with 2. 2 basics, 2 Roomba, 2 basic, 2 Roomba, so we get in the habit of switching faster, which is what will happen a lot in those Timba lines. All right, forward on the left. 1, 2. Roomba, here we go. 1, 2. Basic, 1, 2. Roomba, here we go. 1, 2. Basic, basic. All right. What do you guys think? You think we got that step down? I think so. All right, let's talk about mambo. The mambo step comes out of our front step, just like the Roomba step comes out of our side step. So, looking at our front step, we're remembering that we take 3 counts to step forward and come back together. So, 1, 2, 3. Now, what we do in our slow mambo step is all we do is the forward and the back together. We don't take the extra steps in the middle. So we go 1 and back. We're just tapping 1 and back. That's it. But it uses up the same amount of time. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're skipping that count in the middle when we do our mambo step. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our arms. Our arms are going to be opposite of our foot. So when we put our toe out on one foot, we put our arm out on the other foot. Then we come back by a drop, and we do the other side. Toe and drop, and toe and drop, and toe and drop. Okay? So we're going to add that in with our basic, just like we did with Rumba. Okay? This time we'll do 2 basics, 2 mambos, 2 basics, 2 mambos. Here we go. Basic step, 1, 2, and back. And number 2, and back. There we go. And mambo, and mambo, and mambo, and mambo. Basic step, and 1, and back, and 1, and back. There we go. And mambo, and mambo, and mambo, and mambo. All right. Now, because they're special arms, let's do it with me facing the front. Okay? I'm going to be doing it on a different leg than you, so we're going to do it as if it's the mirror. So when you're stepping forward on your left leg, I'm going to step forward on my right leg, but it's going to look like it's your left leg, so we can stay on the same side together. Okay? Here we go. So let's try our basic step, and we're going to go front step, back step again, front step, back step. And now our mambo starts. Touch, 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 touch. Basic step. And front, and back, and front, and back. Mambo step. And touch, and touch, and touch, and touch. All right? So we have our rumba, and we have our mambo lento, or slow. Lento, it means slow, yeah. Now what we're going to do is mambo rápido, which means fast. So we're going to do the exact same step, but we're going to do it twice as fast. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? That fast. And if you want to add a little extra to it, you can let your hips move a little as you go. We get a little bit extra. Okay? All right. Let's give it a try. Nice and fast right here together. All right? Starting with your left leg, my right leg. And we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah? All right. Let's do it 2 times through. So we get to finish the whole round. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, going 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. All right, now we're going to take that same step and we're going to put it into our basic. So now what we're going to do, 2 basic steps, 2 sets of mambo slow, then we're going to do 2 sets of mambo fast, then back to our basic. Let's give it a try. You know what, I'll do it to the front first and we can do it together, and then we'll turn around and we'll do it to the back. Here we go. And basic, and basic. Again. And basic, and mambo slow. And touch, 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 touch. Basic step. And back. Basic step. And back. Now fast. And touch, and touch, and touch, and touch. Again, touch, 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 and basic, back, and basic, and back. All right? Okay, so now you guys see where the arms are going. You guys see fast and slow? I'll turn around and we'll do it together. Here we go. Basic, 1, and back, and 1, and mambo, slow, and basic step, and 1, back, and front, and out, out, and out, and out. And facing. All right, so now we've done our mambo, both slow and fast, and we also did our rumba. All right, I think we are ready for another step. The next step that we talked about is Mozambique. So we're gonna look at Mozambique, again, it's coming out of front step. So we take our front step, make a little variation, and we'll have Mozambique. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna think about using our heel instead of our toe. So in mambo, we put our toe, now we're gonna put our heel. Okay, so we're gonna use the same timing for the slow mambo, but we're putting our heel out instead. So we're going to go heel, down, heel, down, heel, down, heel, down. Yeah? Now, instead of these arms that we did, we have some different arms. The arms are going to go down and up with a cross in the middle. So we're going to start by going down. We're going to come in and cross. We're going to go up and cross. Let's try it again. In, down, and up, and down, and up. One more time. And down, and up, and down, and up. Okay, so we have our Mozambique. We're gonna put it in with our basic step, just like we did with the others. Let's give it a shot. Basic. 1, 2, 3. Second basic. Mozambique. And up. And down. And up. Basic step. Basic. And back. And basic, and back. Mozambique, and down, and up, and down, and up, basic step, more time. Okay, now we have all 3 steps that we talked about. We have our rumba, we have our mambo, we have our Mozambique, and we practiced all of them. And let me tell you, these steps are the same steps that we'll be doing when we are able to go outside and dance together again. We will use those steps at Salsa in the Park. We'll use them at other events with silent rhythms. We'll use them in our Timba lines. And when you're dancing freestyle, you can use them as well. So I hope you enjoyed them. I hope that you guys practice. You see, they're nice and easy, coming out of our basic steps, and they help us stay moving and stay active in this time that we're in our house. So I just want to say thank you so much to Carrie for having me here today. And thank all of you guys for a wonderful class. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much.